Alright, we are back. And last time we set up our electrolyzer up here to make hydrogen and oxygen, but we did it without proper piping. So today we're going to do a whole lot of piping. We did distilled water over here and distilled water over there, which is very, very bad. So we're going to change that around to use regular water. But first, we're going to make some quad pipes. And we need these because we get hydrogen and oxygen out of here. And for the electrolyzer, the output is on the left. So that'll be right there. So now that went down just a bit. And we have hydrogen and oxygen in there. Now, we do not have any filters. We are still trying to get to aluminum so we can have filters. So, for right now, we are going to use the tank as our filter. We're going to have to get a decent amount ahead before we actually start using it, because the tank is going to be the filter. So we're going to connect this here, and that'll let whichever the first one is in there, which is hydrogen. I preferred it to be oxygen in that one, but it ended up being hydrogen. So now there should be no hydrogen in the pipe. So we're now going to run this one over. And we're going to connect it up. And that is going to put oxygen in this tank. So the only one will go where it needs to go. So now we can go and turn the electrolyzer back on. But before we do that, we're going to cut this pipe off. That way we don't get any more distilled water in there, because we're going to run a water pipe over here, which we already had. This is very dangerous, by the way. Don't do this. That burn box is on right there, and this could most definitely burn out from underneath me, which would be a very bad day. But usually if you don't get a block update, you'll be okay. And I just noticed there's a part of my floor missing. So let's fix that. So while I'm working on this, let me explain a few things about pipes. So the quad pipe that we just used is basically a 4-chamber pipe. There are 4 independent pipes running inside that one block, which is nice for running out of machines like what we're using it for now. They are great for the distillation tower, but with that one you want to use its sister pipe, which is the nanupal pipe. The quad pipe is made out of normal pipes. The nanupal is made out of small pipes. And you might be able to tell by the fact that it's nanupal, that means there are 9 of them in one pipe. So, great pipes for when you need to get a lot of stuff moved from one place to another without taking up butt tons of room in the world. Alright, so we're going to cut that one off. We're going to run this one over here. And as soon as the distilled water is out of here, we'll turn that back on. And this one is finally running down now. So that means we should be completely dry here. So let's take these out of here. And we can now connect that up. Where is my... There we go. Give me them. And again, bad idea. Burning box right there. Don't use wood. This is one of those do as I tell you, not as I do things. My dad used to tell me that all the time. Do as I say, boy, not as I do. Didn't work for shit. It's very bad advice. Alright, there we go. So now that should change over to regular water. As soon as that distilled water is finished being used, the regular water will start being used. It's a nice thing about Greg's machines. Sometimes they will bite you in the butt, though, is it will seamlessly switch over from one to the other, but it has to finish using the first one first. So if I get to a point where there is more than 0 of distilled water in here, it's going to lock up. But that should do exactly what we need. Now, another thing I should have brought up back when we were looking at the acids that I kind of forgot about is stainless steel is not your only option. If you happen to find a good amount of gold, gold is also a acid proof pipe, and so is vanadium steel. Right there's the vanadium steel fluid pipes, which are acid proof. Now, I just currently made some vanadium the other day, which I'm going to be making into vanadium steel from vanadium pentoxide. But I'm going to be using it to make a vanadium steel pickaxe because it is quality 3, where all other steels are quality 2. So that one will take the place of my diamond pickaxe when I break my diamond pickaxe. But you'll notice the top durability on the red steel is 102, where the full durability of the vanadium steel is only 512. So it is half the durability of a red steel. So I will be using it only for things that need level 3. And I also got all of the processing, at least through the sluice, done. Our sluice box is empty if this stuff wasn't there. We've finally gotten through all of that. And now we're just getting done with everything in the centrifuge. Finally getting our tungsten ores running. So we now have, let's see, 45 ferberite, 23 hubnerite, 40 tungstate, and 21 scheelite. Probably going to do a mining and music to go get some more of that out tonight now that I'm finally done with crushing up what we have. Very soon I think we're going to make an extra centrifuge, or we're going to speed up this centrifuge. Maybe just speed up this one. Because if it could run faster, we could run the sluice faster. So I think we're going to do that very soon. And these are in here because they do not have anywhere to go over on the wall. So I'm going to have to make barrels for them. And if they're going in there, that means that this box should be full. But apparently not. So we're just going to move them over here. I really need to get the filters so I can stop having things going where they don't belong. But that is our piping for that. The only thing we need to do now is once we get a decent amount of oxygen out here, which we're getting there, not quite there yet. I'm going to let this run for the weekend and fill those up now that we're on regular water and not distilled water. And then we can later on switch this over to run on oxygen instead of air, and we can start running our sulfides. So since we now have the hydrogen, our next step is to make our tungsten dust. So for anybody that hasn't been following along, well, tungsten dust, let's find the dust. Where did it go? There it is, tungsten dust. Will come out of a mixer of tungsten trioxide and hydrogen, and it will give us water and tungsten. I will probably make a tank for water, and the water that is in here and the water that is over there going into the ender garbage dump for the centrifuge, wherever I put it. Oh, wrong one. This one. This ender garbage dump. Sorry, my brain just blew up on me. I'll probably make a tank to put those in so we can actually run that through the electrolyzer instead of having to run it all the way from the river over there. Eventually, that river is going to get, that pipe's going to get to where it can't handle the bandwidth anymore. And so, therefore, I want to get off of it as much as possible. So now let's take this out and put it back, because we did run into the issue where we only had 0.016, and there we go. Now we're on straight water. Now, for anybody that actually doesn't know it yet, you can also run, see if I can find it here, river water, rice water, reed water, cactus water. Where is the seawater? Okay, I found river water. Where is... It should look just about like... There it is, seawater. So you can run the seawater as well in an electrolyzer, and it will give you chlorine and sodium hydroxide. This is going to be the recipe we use soon, because we're going to need the sodium hydroxide for aluminum, and we'll need the chlorine. But we're not running it now just because we don't need those things at this time. So when that time comes, we will have to move a drain over from, we have our drain currently right here. We'll have to put one over probably here or there and run it, because we got lucky and had this little area that was considered river, and that's where our drain is now. So we'll just have to move it over here or over here and run it back. And if you have tons of salt, which we do have, we've got 4,600, you can also use salt water. Where is this one, the pink one? There. You can also run it, which is the same thing, and you can mix that in a mixer with hydrochloric acid and sodium hydroxide. This is the one I want right here. So salt, water, distilled water, or water will make salt water. So if you want to run on recycled water, you can just mix up your own seawater or salt water and run that too. And then like this shows, if you're breaking down borax dust, you're going to get some of that salt water and hydrogen borate. I'm not even sure what that is used for. Oh, you can break that down to boron, hydrogen, and oxygen. Okay. And we actually, that's one of the things we had, I do believe, right here. We have gypsum dust. So we can dry that into calcium sulfate. And we can actually mix that up with quartz and make wollasite, sulfur trioxide. So there's the one we were looking at. So calcium sulfite, water will make us gypsum. That's just making it back the way it was. But yeah, there's all kinds of new stuff with that gypsum stuff that Greg added. I have not taken the time to look at most of it. We will probably do that in a stream later on. But that's going to be it for today for our piping stuff. If you have any questions about quad pipes, Nanupo pipes, how they work, let me know. I will be getting to them later. Basically, they're just 4 pipes or 9 pipes in a single block to help with not taking up, 4 blocks or 9 blocks to run a pipe. And have a good one, guys.